So the point being that the types that you see running right now are not in any sense true revolutionaries. They are destroyers, even ideologically. Their ideology is worthless when you embody the things that I'm talking about. They are the rabble, they are the rioters, and even Marxism long ago quit doing things like that, right? The Baader-Meinhof and all, that didn't work. They all ended up in life prisons and committed suicide in jail. That's how brilliant they were. All these hard reds, trying to do it through violence. It didn't work because you'd be crushed. And then the other reason why it failed is because the real international that chose to express itself through the Fabian model, do you have that link of the Fabian, just in case that's brand new to somebody? They need to study that one. The Fabian Socialist, what an incredible study this is of Fabian Socialism. They're the ones who really gained the power of the world. They're the ones behind the real, Red Scare today, the world socialism. This group here decided to lay down those arms. They never really did. They never, ever chose that method and were highly scathing of it, even at the time that they came to bear in Cambridge University, right, and all of this. This was a university-created group. Even their emblem shows you a wolf in sheep's clothing, and other emblems also show you the slow, gradual process. The very name Fabian comes from the emperor, or it was the general Fabian, who, in fighting Hannibal, decided to do it through what's called a war of attrition. Extremely slow, patient actions. In other words, Marcuse's long march through the institutions, or whoever, it was Gentile, right? Or whoever was the... can't remember right now who was a thinker who came up with that term, long march through the institutions, right? It'll come to me in a minute, but that's what it is. So the Fabian Society always turned their nose up at violent revolution and cited, we're not going to go into it. They cited the reasons that they didn't think it was necessary. Well, we have cited one of the reasons. And that reason is as pertinent today as it was in 18, whatever it was there that they formed the Fabian Society. And that is capitalism will crumble under its own weight, folks. And they only promote school teachers, college professors, university deans, think tank heads, press editors, everyone, by and large, they're not communists. You do have some still around the hardcore. Well, you have China, right? Of course they're still around. But by and large, the people that have infiltrated America, that's the crux. Because isn't there a running question right now about where did all these guys come from? Every time I look in the media, there's some other ponce jumping up from within this service or that service or this Congress. Right? How did all these communists get into power? Well, this is the way they did it. Because they were socialists who got promoted because they believed this model that we're talking about. The model that is, you can't fight capitalism while it is going. It will always win. Because the real secret of dialectical materialism or any of the nonsense that Marx came up with is all based in a teleological unfolding in which the systems decay. It's vaguely Hegelian, because they were left Hegelians. Oh my God, don't blame Hegel for any of this, right? But it was left Hegelians of Germany who came up with this twist on it. That wait for the thing to crumble. Well, then to finish off, my last comments on this, obviously that end date must be in sight to the socialist Fabian. The Fabian socialist must be able to see, now you could, like I said, if you read them, if you know their thinking, you can actually be ahead of them. You can read what they're doing. You can look over their shoulders to look at the charts, because to fold up the old communism to the extent that they're doing means that they must have now within their sights, as clear as day, that goal, that capitalism is of itself destroying. Maybe the 2008 fiasco, and the bailouts. We could talk endlessly about things that have happened, in real time that might vindicate that the whole Bush administration. But, whatever, let's not get into that. The fact is that these people now have it on their radar. And so that goes, communism, we allowed you in the room. We've always felt that you're a bit of an elephant, but for old time's sake, we gave you a break. See now that blip, you're done. And they're ranting and raving and weeping and crying and banging the spoon is what you're getting in America now. So again, people digest this, think what it means for you, think what it means in terms of how long this chaos will last, or is it just histrionics, as Tsarion is saying? Maybe it'll go away and we'll all get back to some sort of normality. I don't know. I'll leave you all to think about that. But this is factual, what I'm talking about. This is the meltdown within. And that the Fabian socialist doesn't want to see those grimy hands serving him his soup anymore. You are fired. And the other side is running around, said, well, I'll pull up all your plants then. I'm going to smash your fucking windows. I served you. And now you're just paying us all off, right? I'm going to throw some shit on your windows, right? And that's it. That's the final purge. And even if these Boogaloo people are finally nailed in whatever way may happen in the following weeks, it doesn't really bother me, because the real story of the socialism still exists. And that's why it's deeply in the hearts of these people who are in very high positions of power. So obviously we have to wait for this, like we did in Ireland. We waited for the explosions to die down so we could get to the real culprit, the Jesuits. In this situation, you have to let the histrionics boil down, right, and fade away, and the cacophony can die down before we go, okay, can we get back to the table now with the real problem? So, you know, let that be digested, I suppose. Oh, and Trump. I don't think Trump is co-opting any of this, right? But he may know about it. It's just the last thing I'll say is that he may be also taking a back seat to say he knows a lot of this, and therefore he's not supporting the rise of socialism and the end of communism, but he knows that this is an inevitable tactic. You know, there he's seen through his informants that this is bound to happen. So the less you have to actually do directly with it, let it work itself out, and then we'll deal with it after the chaos, because you can't get in and micromanage chaos. So hold back a bit, you know. So by no means do I think he's part of this. By no means do I think he's sitting there with all those Fabian socialists going, this is just wonderful, I'll wait till it's all over, because I'm advocating for the new socialism to come in. I don't think that. I really don't. Right? And we'll know for sure in his posture towards Hong Kong and China and all of that. But already what he's been doing, I don't think he's any Fabian socialist. I think he's trying to save the old paleo conservatism, what I think. But, you know, okay, that's only 60-70% proven, you know, but it's good enough to go on. No, the real problem is the ones who want to overthrow Trump and bring in the very Fabian socialism, the most deadly smart communism. Think of that. Since the 1990s and the fall of the Berlin Wall, that threat has been waning. And then we do have hybrids of it, but the real modern threat is Fabian socialism. So just wanted to do a little talk with you on that, you know, to just emphasize that in case that's a piece that's been missing from a lot of people who've been listening.